Before Egypt had a pharaoh, before the first Vedic hymn was sung into existence, before Babylon raised a single brick toward heaven, every one of those civilizations already had a name for the same entity, a serpent, vast beyond measurement, coiling in the dark before light existed, and in every language, without exception, that name translates to the same thing, the encircling void, the primordial darkness, that which was before. This is not coincidence, this is a message. In the beginning, before Ra, before the Ogdoad had names, before the first god opened its eyes, there was none, the primordial waters, undifferentiated, infinite. And in those waters, something coiled, not a creature placed into darkness, the darkness itself, given form, given hunger. This is Apep. Not a monster in the way that word implies a deviation from normalcy. Apep is normalcy. Apep is what the universe looks like when order is absent. And order is always the fragile exception. Every night, Ra's solar bark descends into the Duat, the underworld beneath the world, threading through 12 hours of deepening dark. And in that deep, Apep waits, coiled around the entire length of the passage, vast enough to swallow the bark whole, vast enough to end the cycle of time itself. The gods fight. Seth, for all his chaos, stands at the prow and drives a spear into the serpent's flesh. The bark pushes through, and dawn comes. But here is what the Egyptian priests understood with a clarity that should terrify us. They never killed it. They cannot kill it. Apep is subdued until dawn. And then the night comes again, and Apep is whole, and the battle is eternal. Not because the gods are weak, because Apep is not a thing that can be destroyed. It is the substrate, the original condition. You cannot unmake what reality itself is made from. Now shift thousands of miles east across the Arabian Sea before the Sanskrit language had fully crystallized into the texts we now call the Rig Veda, one of the oldest surviving documents of human thought. The storm god Indra descends to face something coiled around the mountains. Its name is Vritra, and the world is dying. No rain, no rivers. The waters of creation have been swallowed up, held inside the body of a serpent so vast it encircles the peaks themselves. Indra strikes with the Vajra, the thunderbolt forged at the edge of heaven, and the serpent splits and the waters pour back into the world and life resumes. The myth is so old it may predate agriculture, but listen to the other name Vritra carries, Ahi, the coiling one, and that root, Ahi, appears in the Avestan language of ancient Persia as Aji, the serpent of darkness at the heart of Zoroastrian cosmology. The same root, the same encirclement, the same cosmic function. A serpent holding back the waters of creation, whose defeat is not a victory, but a maintenance, a temporary restoration of an order that is always under pressure. No trade route connects the Nile Delta to the Indus Valley in the period these myths crystallized. No diplomat carried a scroll from Memphis to the banks of the Saraswati. The same structure surfaced independently from the same depth of human understanding. Then the clay tablets from Ras Shamra, discovered in 1929, predating the Hebrew Bible by centuries, describe Baal descending to face Yam, the god of chaos, of the sea, of everything that refuses to be ordered. Yam's great weapon is Lotan, the fleeing serpent, the twisting serpent, the powerful one with 7 heads. And Lotan is not a metaphor buried in poetic language. Lotan is the Leviathan of the Hebrew tradition, the name changed by a single phoneme, the entity preserved with frightening fidelity across thousands of years of cultural transmission. 3 civilizations, no contact during the formative period, the same serpent, the same cosmic role, the same terrifying implication. Beneath the ordered world, something vast and coiling is being held back. Here is where we have to slow down and ask the question honestly. How? 3 explanations exist, and none of them are comfortable. The first, there was a shared origin culture, a pre-civilizational people who carried this myth before dispersal, and we have no record of them because we have not yet found the record. The second, these myths encode a real event, a cosmological or geological catastrophe witnessed by proto-human populations before they separated across continents. Something so total and so serpentine in its nature that every group of survivors named it the same way. The third, the human mind, when it confronts the actual structure of reality, entropy, void, the pressure of uncreation against the thin membrane of order, generates this symbol every single time because the serpent coiling on itself is not just an image. It is the most accurate description possible of what infinity without form actually is. None of these answers lets you sleep easily. All 3 might be simultaneously true. The Norse called it Jormungandr, the world serpent, child of Loki, encircling Midgard at the bottom of the ocean. When it releases its own tail, Ragnarok begins, not as villain, but as agent of reset. The Aztec Cipactli, the primordial sea crocodile serpent, from whose dismembered body the earth itself was constructed. Order is not imposed on nothing. Order is built on top of something that is still alive. The Slavic Zmei guards the threshold between the living world and the world of the dead, coiling at the root of everything. The same entity, wearing different names, performing the same theological function across every inhabited continent. And the linguistic archaeology confirms what the myths confess. The Proto-Indo-European root reconstructed as angui, appearing in Latin as anguis, in Greek as office, in Sanskrit as ahi, in Avestan as agi, all meaning serpent, all cognate with a root meaning to press tight, to encircle. The oldest recoverable layer of human language describes the universe's original condition as encirclement, as pressure, as the coiling void. Every cosmology admits, quietly, that the serpent was never destroyed, only subdued, and every cosmology carries, somewhere in its depths, the prophecy about the moment it wakes again. Jormungandr releases its tail. Apep breaks free from the Duat. Leviathan rises from the deep. What these people saw, what made them encode the same image in the oldest words available to the human tongue, we have chosen to call mythology, but they called it observation. What were they watching? What did they see in the dark before the first civilization rose that made every single human culture look at the void beneath the world and say, there is something there. It is coiling, and it is waiting.